They say a lawyer's job is to defend the living. But what happens when the dead demand justice? This is the story of how Ethan Cole, a defense attorney, took on the most disturbing client of my career. A client who had been dead for 3 years. Welcome to the case file I call My Ghost Client, a horror crime story told by Ethan Cole. My name is Ethan Cole. I'm a defense attorney in a city where justice is more about politics than truth. I've represented killers, thieves, frauds, and liars. But none of them haunted me the way she did, because she wasn't alive. It was a Monday. Rain slapped against my office windows, the kind of cold, gray day that made whiskey taste like medicine. I was nursing a glass when I heard the door creak open. No knock, just open. A woman stood there, dripping wet, her dark hair stuck to her face. She wore a navy blue dress torn, muddy, and about a decade out of fashion. Her eyes were pale and glassy, but locked onto mine with purpose. "Mr. Cole," she said, "I need representation." Her voice, it didn't echo in the room. It echoed in my skull. I stared. "Do I know you?" She sat down, even though I never offered. The seat remained completely dry. I watched the water drip from her clothes, but the leather underneath her never darkened. "My name is Rachel Moriarty," she said. "I was murdered in 2022. I froze. That name, it wasn't unfamiliar. She continued. "They said I drowned myself, but I didn't. I was silenced. And now, I want justice." At first, I thought I was hallucinating. I hadn't slept in 2 days. Maybe the whiskey was hitting me harder. But when she reached in her coat and slid a manila folder across the desk, my hands trembled as I opened it. Police reports, autopsy photos, internal memos. But they weren't photocopies or digital prints. These were originals. Some of the documents were marked sealed or internal use only. A few still had blood on the edges, dry, brown, old. The autopsy report listed her death as suicide by drowning. But in the margins, scribbled in fading ink, was a handwritten note. Multiple bruises inconsistent with self-harm. Signs of restraint. This was no suicide. Dr. Halwin. Dr. Halwin. The name clicked. He was a respected medical examiner, until he disappeared 6 months after Rachel's death. Rachel leaned forward, her eyes flickering like candlelight. "They buried the truth," she said, "but it's still there, waiting to be unearthed." I started investigating. Against every instinct, every shred of logic, I treated her like a real client. I found Dr. Halwin's former office. Boarded up, no forwarding address. But the clerk on night shift, nervous, sweating, slipped me a crumpled paper when no one was looking. A name was scrawled on it. Richard Vane, Rachel's ex-boyfriend, executive VP at a pharmaceutical giant, Dextro Farm. I dug into company records, old HR files, Rachel's email logs. She'd worked as a contracted mental health specialist and whistleblower. Before her death, she had begun filing complaints about a new antidepressant Dextro Farm was pushing through trials. The side effects? Paranoia, hallucinations, suicidal ideation. Rachel had discovered they were hiding the data. 2 weeks after filing her complaint, she killed herself. I tried confronting Vane. Security guards blocked my path before I could reach his office. I left a message anyway. That night, I came home to find my apartment ransacked. Nothing stolen, but my bathroom mirror was fogged up. I hadn't taken a shower. In the fog, someone or something had written, "Help me finish this." My blood ran cold. She wasn't just appearing. She was watching. Rachel began showing up more often. Reflections, window panes, the TV screen when it was off. Her voice would flicker through phone static. "They think they won, but I'm still here." I received an anonymous email with an audio recording attached. No subject, no sender. I hit play. Richard Vane's voice, angry, arrogant. "You think anyone's going to believe a burnout social worker? You're nothing, Rachel. A liability. You're gone." My hand trembled on the mouse. The next line chilled my spine. "If you open your mouth again, you'll be dead before you hit the floor." 2 days later, the judge who signed my subpoena for Dextro Farm records died in a carbon monoxide leak. I knew this was bigger than I could handle. But Rachel wouldn't let me stop. I started seeing her, even when I blinked. In dreams, she'd whisper, "One more push, Ethan. One more." I didn't sleep, barely ate. My eyes sunk into my skull. But I was close. I returned to Vane's mansion with a flash drive of evidence. The memo leaks, the audio, the altered trial reports. He answered the door himself. I expected smugness. Instead, he looked tired. "Back again," he said. "You're a fool, Cole." He poured a glass of scotch and sat by the fireplace, motioning for me to sit. I didn't. I pressed play on the audio. His voice. Rachel's final argument. The threat. His expression cracked. Just for a second. Then he reached under his coat and pulled out a pistol. "You should have stayed away," he hissed. That's when the wind started. From nowhere. Roaring through the room. The flames in the fireplace died in an instant. Rachel appeared behind him. White. Glowing. Her eyes now black voids. He turned and fired. The bullet passed through her. It hit the ceiling. The chandelier above him groaned. And then it fell. The impact was deafening. Glass and steel crushed his body. Silence. Rachel looked at me one last time. For the first time, she smiled. Then she vanished. The police ruled it an accident. But I gave them everything. The files. The audio. The whistleblower documents. Dextro Farm collapsed under federal investigation. Several executives were arrested. Rachel Moriarty was officially declared a homicide victim. Her body was exhumed. The new autopsy confirmed it. Blunt force trauma, signs of restraint, drug injection. Her name was cleared. I attended her reburial alone. The wind was calm, the sky clear. As they lowered her into the ground, I whispered, "You're free now, Rachel." A gust of wind brushed my shoulder. And somewhere, far off, I heard her say, "Thank you." That should have been the end. But sometimes when I take on a new client, I catch her reflection in the corner of my eye. Watching, waiting, because justice doesn't end when the case closes. Some clients never leave, and some truths never die.